broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome to the WWE NXT After Show live on Afterbuzz TV, your only source for all Eva Marie news all the time. That's right, today's show is exclusively about Eva Marie, except for the opening music being the Ascension.
That's
right. The only thing that we let us have.
Because
so
she dominates so thoroughly. She is like the Ascension of the women's division. She's going all the way to the top.
I am one of your hosts for this show. This is the Internet Soapbox Mark. You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark, and also True Hobo.
Ah!
Are you excited?
Oh, manic today.
Excited to talk about Eva Marie?
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll wait.
Her maybe a shirt. That may have been a shirt, or does she just not have nipples?
Well, she
may have had them removed, because it's PG.
Eva Marie's nipples. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But we had this was a excellent show, and when you think about the format, a very different type of NXT. The only singles matches were women's matches.
Yep. And
the only dudes matches were tag team matches.
Yep.
So there were 3 women's matches, 2 tag team matches, and awesome. It's a pretty solid show tonight.
It's pretty different. I wonder, I had this thought as I was watching, I wonder if they're testing the waters for an all-women's wrestling show.
So, like with all of the people from Shimmer that they're bringing in.
Right, because they're bringing in a lot of females, and a lot of them coming up in the reigns here, and the women's division can only ever be so big. That's why we have 3 matches tonight. Now, what if you just replaced the 2 tag team matches with maybe a couple of more women's matches, or had a specialty match in there, one set of guys, just for a whatever. Like, what if this could be an alternate show?
Yeah, I'm sure the world is ready for it. Whether their production team is ready for it, if they keep it at Full Sail so that it's an additional night, it's not really taxing, and they just keep the same arena, they just change it's under the NXT brand. Yeah, no, I can see it.
Well, they'd have to do just like an alternate set of tapings.
Exactly.
That would be it. So,
or it's in the middle, since it's all the same setup, it's in the middle of the NXT show.
Yeah. I mean, NXT show's pretty long. They do a month of tape.
Depending.
True.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I mean, but it's you got to keep your audience entertained. If it gets too long, it's just going to be too much for them.
Speaking of keeping your audience entertained, let's get to tonight's show. It opened up with Carmella versus Nia Jax. We heard about this match last week, and it looked like we were just going through the motions. It looked like Nia Jax was pretty. It had the match. She had the match kind of locked away.
Nia Jax is something of an unstoppable force. Or an immovable object.
I was going to say, does that make Carmella the immovable object? Because she seemed pretty movable.
But she can't. I mean, she's just so damn strong. And Nia Jax just had this. This whole match was going the way that all of Nia Jax's matches up to this point have gone.
Yep.
Until Carmella was able to turn that bear hug into a standing guillotine. And then it started to roll in her favor.
No, it was a good surprise. We got to see Carmella show a little bit more than some of Nia Jax's other opponents, but it proved futile as she, goes for the head scissors off the top rope. Can't move Nia Jax. Ends up hitting her spine buster and ragdoll spunner to hit that leg drop for the win. Nia Jax is your winner in this match.
Like, she looked like a puppet. She just grabbed those ankles and swung her around and that's it. Oh, man. It's over.
And I'm reminded of Space Ghost. Moltar, grab my ankles and pull. Not even going to reference.
Is he available for weddings?
I hope so. I really hope George Lowe's available for weddings. So with this, Nia is starting to get into the known. Are you looking at my shirt?
No, I already know. I just occasionally look at this bear screaming at me.
It's Banjo.
I know.
It's real
Banjo-Kazooie. Although he does have like a cartoon bear's body.
And after that, thumbs up. Flippin' love it. That's hotdiggitydemon.com. Anyway, so now Nia's starting to get into the women's division that we know. Where does she go from here? Does this start something with Carmella, or because it was clean, she just keeps annihilating until she reaches the top?
I imagine she just continues to destroy until there's a bump in the road. Until there's maybe an upset victory where she goes, well, I have to go back and I have to actually beat this person now. You have to get that one person that slows your momentum. So in my head, I am going, who is going to slow her momentum, her really inevitable ascent to the absolute top and pinnacle of NXT's women's division? Or is she going to opt out and maybe do a little side work?
A little bit of work on the side. We'll get to that near the end of the show. We get backstage with Alexa Bliss. She's tired of hearing about that Iron Man match. So much so that she's blissed off.
And Blake and Murphy, the mimes of this trio.
So yes, while Alexa was cutting this promo, Banff was behind going like, that's for our video. I wasn't doing an impression.
Just doing the audio. Because they sounded like this. That's what they sounded like.
Thrilling radio. That's us here at the Afterbuzz TV NXT After Show.
We aim to please on all platforms. We really do.
But with that promo, I was happy when the ref came up and said, "Yo, Regal says you guys can't go up. You can't go out with Alexa for the match." Immediately followed by, "Who says?" It's like William Regal. He just
are you not listening, boy?
Just said that Regal told you to do that.
You?
Yeah. He got a little too excited. So after all of that mimery, I was kind of happy that they weren't allowed out to the match. But hey, you get what you pay for. And then awesome match, second match of the night, the returning heroes, the Ascension versus JJ and Gable. I had to make it a quick one.
It kind of sounded like you bit through something.
I did.
Yeah. I don't know if they're necessarily returning heroes, but they're probably, without a doubt, the most dominant.
Yeah!
The most dominant former tag team champions. 364-day reign.
They're the most dominant tag team in NXT's history.
Absolutely.
And the match that we got tonight with them is the classic Ascension that we fell in love with when they were down here at NXT. And this, so we'll talk about the match ultimately, just because I want to make this comment. Ultimately, they end up losing, but not in like a super terrible, like, definitive way. It was clean, but it was still just like
Connor coming in at the end
at the last minute with his,
and he was maybe like 6, 8
go to
inches
the
away.
Wide, go to the wide real quick. It was about
like
it was about
He was this
far.
close. He just got past JJ and was almost there, but there was the three of like, oh, that was actually really dramatic.
He's like, no.
Like he didn't just stay on the side and go, oh, that's over. He really tried there at the end.
Despite them losing, they were awesome in this match. They were, you saw how good of a tag team they were. A lot of great double team moves.
A lot of new double team
moves. A lot of good sequences, and some stretches of them just being dominant. Connor playing back up to the yas from the crowd. A lot of different variations of the ya chant, including Kurt Angle, but with yas. It was so good. And it's matches like this where you see the divide between the main roster and NXT, and it's sad because I think the worst thing about the Ascension right now is the fact that you don't know if they're still with Stardust or not. Because like when that happened, everybody was like, Cosmic Wasteland, super down, and then they came out the next week on Monday and got squashed. And then they came back on Thursday and were dominant with Stardust, and then sometimes they were out with Stardust, sometimes they weren't, sometimes Stardust would dress like the Ascension, sometimes he wouldn't, and it's just a big muddle. But if you put these guys out there and you let them do awesome tag team wrestling, they'll get the job done, and whether they win or lose, they'll be entertaining, because this was an awesome match from both sides.
Right. I actually think you could take the whole Stardust and Ascension thing, at least, and put it into a title picture. Honestly, if he picked up the Intercontinental or even the Heavyweight Championship with the Ascension at his side, I think he'd be pretty dominant, because that tag team, they're serious. And when you see them advertised on NXT, you go, oh, no way, I've got to tune in to see this. These guys are too damn good.
Exactly. And this match, especially with JJ and Gable, what were some of your favorite parts of it? Because I have a couple. I just have to look through my notes.
JJ was a powerhouse coming in after that.
Trying to pick Connor up all that? Ooh, and
having trouble, but still so able to get him off his feet.
Connor ain't a little boy.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I met that man. He's a house. He's a big Irish house. And it's
big Irish house.
And Gable managing to always be smarter than his opponents. He was able to get one over on Connor. As big as Connor is, Connor could not keep up with how technical Gable was.
Yes.
He's so good at that.
But when the Gable got tagged back in, and that's when the Ascension started to come back, and we started to see all of those tag team moves, huge spinning spine buster, big like jumping knee, and the New Day "Ya" chant, the "Ya, ya, ya, ya." Yeah, I think they can get so over.
I don't think the Ascension are as used to being this over as they are, because
it's every time they come back.
Right, it's sort of like they're happy to be there, but then it's like they don't know how to play with the crowd, because they're just like, I can't believe they like us so much. Isn't this great? Kill!
Yeah, and especially one more, yeah. Well, and then he did the whole he pumped it up a bit, and yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Too much fun. They were having fun, and it looked like they were enjoying their jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to enjoy a job like this, but sometimes when you're in the Ascension's position, man, it's nice to come down and really let loose and have a nice match.
It's always a job. It's
yes,
the greatest job in the world, but when you're actually enjoying it, it's no longer a job. It actually feels like something you were made to do. You were bred to do and
born to do.
Born to do.
We actually have some folks in the chat that don't know you're a professional wrestler.
What?
They're new.
Hey, I'm a former Hollywood champion.
Yeah,
I was the top dog of all Hollywood. Like I'm the man.
You're
it's weird.
You're pretty great.
No, I'm the dude, man. I run this section of the planet as far as wrestling. That's me.
Until WWE comes here.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's temporary.
You gotta kowtow to the Emperor when he comes to town.
Of course.
You know, it's like the Emperor of China. China's a big place.
Actually, you did have a champion kind of pay alms to you last time they were in town, if you want to put it like that.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could say.
In a matter, he came into your house and enjoyed your work,
yes.
We're being very, very vague. But make sure, I know there's a lot of folks in the chat, so if you have any questions for us during the show, if you have anything that you want us to talk about, make sure to leave it. I'm actively watching it. Our internet is actually working today, which is great, because there's not a lot of people here. We got the early shift.
Yeah, love the early shift.
Yeah. All right, so the finish was when JJ and Gable really got fired up, and the huge, beautiful JJ drop kicks.
He manages to do it as big as he is. I think he comes close to hitting like a drop salt on these guys. He hits it and manages to do like a perfect backflip.
He literally goes from his height and then perpendicular to the ground. His head is in the same place. He's like a chicken. Yep. His head is in the same place, but then his body is over here.
Well, that's
flipping beautiful. That's a drop kick.
Drop kicks are box jumps. If you're able to bring your entire body up without moving your head, that's a drop kick. That's just the extension. You bring everything up and then you extend it out. That's how you do it. I'm pretty good with a drop kick myself.
Yeah, you teach some good drop kicks down at the Wrestle Center.
They're tough to learn.
The Big Hobowski.
Hobowski.
Yeah, that's what we got from AJ in chat. It's very good. And despite JJ and Gable, I mean, clean with their finisher, it's so great to see the Ascension at this level again. And we miss them down at NXT. Connor Victor, we love you, and we hope for better stuff on the main roster. we're happy that you're still around and you get a chance to come down to NXT. Like, despite not being in NXT regularly, they're still the gatekeepers for tag teams in NXT to prove themselves.
Right.
That's how great of a tag team they are.
Stick.
They are.
They made themselves that.
And it shows how lucky the Lucha Dragons got when they won the championships.
Exactly. Lucha Dragons are good on one day, good on 2 days, but to be good for 364 days, there's the challenge.
And it was fantastic. We then see a package for Bayley and Alexa, with Bayley offering a retort. The road to the NXT Women's Championship has been hard, and keeping it has been even harder. My favorite line in this was, Alexa is going to get the wrestling lesson of her life. I liked that a lot.
I think Bayley feels that she is due respect from Alexa. Bayley has won the championship. She is the current champion. And I think, sort of walking around, she feels that Alexa owes her something. If nothing, just respect.
Yeah,
she is not giving any of that.
Not whatsoever.
So she's going to assist her in that.
Our next match was her versus Emma. It was a weird cut. It was another thing where they shot the entrance of the opponent and didn't play it, but it was a lot more apparent where you could have just cut Greg out and said, and from Australia, it's Emma. But
they cut it a little too early.
And her opponent. Whose opponent?
So her opponent.
So her opponent was Emma.
Yes.
We found during the commentary, actually at the very end of the match, that this is Mary Kate. What was her previous gimmick, Hobo?
She was Rosie Levelette on TNA.
Yes.
A lot of love.
Lot of love.
She lost over 100 pounds and is now a wrecking machine.
Always a great worker, but if you carry over that wrecking crew style from the first weight all the way down to here, it still translates.
Yeah.
It's still, then she's just a big woman who's gonna kick your ass.
She lost over 100 pounds.
It's amazing. Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. She got real fit. I mean, she looked dominant.
Flipping tough, man.
Yeah, but Emma's smart.
That was the thing, is you can't go in there with just brute force.
No, you can't.
And this was the proof. And Emma ends up getting, she was vicious, dude.
Yeah.
Like, she's really starting to like grab onto the heel bit.
She just was ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
She was out there without Dana, and I think she took it upon herself to make a statement that she doesn't need Dana. Dana does not need to be out there for her to feel confident in taking on an opponent who is bigger than her and actually getting the win and at any cost. I mean, she did not pull any punches. She was as dirty a player in this game as anyone could possibly be, and really did not let Mary Kate get any offense in at the end of it. When it was over, man, it was over, and Emma was dominant.
Decisively.
Yes.
Is out of all of the people that we've seen these past couple of weeks come in from Shimmer and various promotions, where does Mary Kate rank in somebody that you would want to see more frequently?
A lot of them are just chicks, and I don't want to. It's like any wrestler, you know. You want something that differentiates you from other wrestlers. What differentiates her from other wrestlers is size. She's definitely got a size advantage, and I actually would like to see her take on a Nia Jax. That would be cool to me, because she's bigger, so she can have a bit of a better go at her, so to speak.
That's what I found compelling about her too. Is we see somebody who's roughneck and strong that could go the distance against Nia Jax, and now because we have to start filling that gap with talent. As amazing as it'll be to get the women on the complete other side of the spectrum that can beat Nia Jax, you got to fill that in, or else it stops being believable that she's super strong. If somebody is tiny, and this is, I mean, far in the future, if somebody like a Carmella or Alexa Bliss, who are shorter and smaller girls, can beat somebody like that, who can beat a monster like that.
I want to see even Nia Jax take on somebody close to her size or bigger to cement herself as a real and viable threat.
So that I hope that just because we saw her and Carmella, that we can see these two.
That would be cool.
Because that would I would like to see that.
Bring her back next week and have her step up against Nia Jax, Mary Kate and Nia Jax, and have Nia Jax work a little bit harder. I mean, she couldn't catch Carmella tonight, Nia Jax, but if she was able to actually run into somebody with the same kind of strength as her, that would be an interesting dynamic. Now, I have no doubt that Nia Jax would pull out the win, but I think it would at least be interesting.
It would be interesting indeed. Speaking of interesting, after this, we get a recap of the Apollo and Corbin feud. Corbin puts it plainly, I don't like you. Just front and center. Challenges Apollo to a match at TakeOver. Are you excited for this?
I don't know. Corbin was better in this backstage thing. I liked what he had to say, and he said it well.
He did. It was character. It was playing off of what we see of him on Breaking Ground, which may or may not be real. Who knows? It's a reality show. Anything goes on a reality show. Truly,
everything's real.
This is professional wrestling, right?
Professional wrestling.
Red Hobo, everything's real.
Real.
Everything is absolutely real.
Yes, sir.
Still surprised that you got a cell phone. You got lucky that time. But
well, I mean, it's the pay by the month type thing.
Hollywood pays you pretty well. Enough for a pay by the month.
Well, sure.
That's why you don't live anywhere, but you have a cell phone.
Right. Well, I mean, I got a little box, but
there you go.
It's all right.
It's well sized. You've brought me to the place before.
Right.
It's nice.
I mean, it's okay. A little box in Burbank.
It'll
It's
work.
not bad.
That's not too bad. But I do agree that Corbin, I think giving time for Apollo to cool down from his super aggressive promo.
The comments from last week's after show that we did, there were a lot of people who were going that I was overreacting, that he should have been that hot, and there were a lot of people who agreed with me that Apollo's reaction was an overreaction. Mm-hmm. So it's funny that there's a split in how people are receiving Apollo Crews and this dose of enthusiasm that he seems to have.
So they might have just taken an extra week to go, okay, so where do we go from here? I think it's smart. Like, for those fans who aren't necessarily super hot on it, you get Corbin even though this was like last week at the end of the week, you play this for the fans who didn't go to WWE.com, and you get like, ooh, now I kind of want to hear what Apollo has to say to respond to that.
What I think they're doing is they're building more heat for Baron Corbin to counter out the feelings of sort of meh for Apollo Crews. Because if you hate a guy more than you like the other guy, you still want the other guy to kick the guy you don't like's ass. Mm-hmm. So it sort of evens out. And I think they can trust Corbin to be the guy that everybody hates.
That's a fair analysis.
But they can't trust Apollo to be the guy that everybody loves just yet.
They're working up to it.
Yeah.
And we'll see it. Do you think there'll be a gimmick, or it's just going to be straight one-on-one?
It's got to be one-on-one.
Okay.
For this, I mean, really. It's too early. Like, what could they do?
Yeah, if this one isn't a clean finish, it could be it could lead to something like that.
Right. It can get dirty, but it's too early for it to get dirty.
Speaking of dirty, say yeah! We got Dash and Dawson coming out. We get an announcement that the tag team title rematch is going to be next week, already super soon. So that means at TakeOver we might see a new match depending on whoever wins. We'll either see the return match if the Vaudevillains win it back, or Dash and Dawson will be facing a new opponent, which we'll talk about near the end of the show. But this match was rough for Corey Hollis and John Schuyler, a couple of local guys coming in. And, I mean, I kind of called it.
Dash and Dawson did what they wanted to do. They did not care what the audience had to say, because the audience got vocal. They said, hey, this is boring. And Dash and Dawson did not care. They worked on this poor Hollis kid until he had, like, one bloody stump. He didn't even have a leg left. It was just this mash of meat that just where his leg used to be, and then he fights back, finally finds an opening to tag in Schuyler. Shatter Machine, that's it.
Told you.
Yep, and boy, Schuyler was so excited to get it.
Stoked.
I'm gonna go. Oh!
And just down and out, poor guy. almost cursed. But
That's rough.
sorry. Well, to borrow another person's line, sorry about your damn luck.
Yeah, really.
I like. Thanks for the extra little bit of grizzle there. It's always been real to me. Damn it. That's a funny Bill name. Asuka in the back with her mask on. Tom Phillips asks her, "So what about these masks that everybody?" Dana Brooke.
That was so flimsy. It's like, so what about your mask? Why wasn't that like the first question you asked?
Could have just been something
not
like
be a lead-in?
anything. It could have just said, "Asuka, words."
Who does your hair?
And then Dana. It's like, I like your robes. They're very colorful. And then boom, Dana Brooke.
They just needed a reason for there to be a camera. That was it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was.
That was all.
You have earned my respect. But she had a problem with patting her on the head. And Dana's heard the rumors. She has heard the rumors. What rumors has she heard, Hobo, I ask you?
Well, the rumors on NXT TV, of course.
NXT TV, the thing that nobody has ever said ever in public. It's not TV. Well, I guess that's not true. It's not TV in America, but it's TV elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
that is true. I think this was really. There's a lot of crossover between Breaking Ground and this show as far as Dana Brooke goes.
Yes.
I've seen Dana Brooke on Breaking Ground, and I think you should too. Audience at home, go take a look, and then just go ahead and figure out what Dana Brooke's all about.
Still figuring it out.
I think she is, yes.
She's heard all the rumors, and next week on NXT TV, she challenges Asuka to a rematch. Asuka accepts. Now,
The rumors.
we had the wonderful Miss Brittany Fetkin,
Yes.
formerly Devin Taylor,
Yes.
on both the NXT and Breaking Ground after shows, which you can look at on iTunes as well as YouTube.
Just that you do.
And we hoped to God that the head patting thing was over. Tom Phillips gets a head pat and shoot out of the way.
I threw a pen.
You did.
I did that. It was violent.
Did you throw it all the way to Penn Island?
I did.
So Phillips leaves.
I threw it to Panama.
That was pretty bad.
Panama. I can't get it high.
Yeah, you can't do it. Yeah, you got a pretty low register. So, Kathy. Emma comes up, asks, "Did she buy it?" Yeah. Game over. We got her.
Playtime
is over. So they're gonna beat her up before she gets to the ring. They're
Good freaking luck.
No, Dana's gonna be in the ring, and then Asuka's gonna come down, and Emma's gonna try to beat her up. And
the magical murder fly is going to screw you both up really badly. Do not mess with her.
No.
They just can't seem to learn, or we can't seem to stop writing in a loop. We're done. I thought this was over. Dana Brooke got hit so hard she couldn't remember what the heck happened. And then Emma was like, well, I don't want no piece of that. So we're back to Dana Brooke wanting to fight her again.
And then then
Dana Brooke forgets that she fought her again and then wants to fight her again, and then it keeps happening. We're stuck in a loop.
Yeah, but if Breaking Ground is anything to be trusted, she needs to take the concussion test.
Yes, she does.
And then maybe take some time off.
This is necessary sometimes. Revitalize, figure things out and just come back stronger than you were.
Asuka's pretty over in the chat, and I mean, anytime she's out there, she just kicks ass in both the literal and figurative sense.
Yes, physically, literally.
Little spooky. So we also have Samoa Joe, not at the NXT arena, not there for NXT TV. Regal
was he?
He was on one of the sets that's behind the stage of where they shoot. He was there, but he wasn't there. He just wasn't at a licensed NXT TV
probably
place.
Catering adjacent.
Yeah. He was.
Probably.
This is all right. Anyway, Joe is there. Joe isn't at NXT TV at the NXT arena because Regal has a fear of what Finn will do, and he might put the match in jeopardy for TakeOver. it might put himself in jeopardy for TakeOver, and he says he's going to take what's his, and that'll be that. Pretty okay promo the whole time, and
I liked it. He seemed genuine.
He seemed a little bit. He just had to button one of his little choked up. He had to unbutton one of his buttons. He's a classy person.
Taking a page out of Neville's book, right there.
Definitely.
He's trying to emulate one of the greatest NXT champions of all time with the high button collar. I want to see him hit the red arrow.
Justin, oh no, I'll wait to ask that until the end of the show. But our main event for the evening, Alexa, who comes out to a remix of her original theme, like a dubsteppy version, gives her own stamp. I really like it. I don't know if it's been played before. I made it just brain dead.
Yeah, sure.
But I really like it. I dig it because it reminds her that she has been twisted from what she once was, in a cool little subtext.
It's like Emma's in a way.
It's Emma's in intention, but Emma's execution could be a little better.
A little better.
And Bayley coming out. We've got the same championship mood lighting that we had for Apollo and Finn.
Ooh,
Did that do anything for you?
it made it harder to see.
Yeah, because we were watching here in the studio, and we had bright lights, and so everything was darker up on our view screen that we had. It was pretty crazy.
It looked like like a screensaver popped in, like it went into power saving mode. It did not look like there was mood lighting. It just got dark.
Fair enough. This match was pretty good.
Fairly even.
Yeah, I think despite it being a clean finish with Bayley taking the win, they could do this over and over again.
I think it's safe to say this isn't the last time these two are going to meet.
Wait, say that again?
This isn't the last.
Okay, I thought you said it was. Like, safe to say, this is the last time
they won't be ever seeing each other ever again.
They should have advertised this as once in a lifetime.
That's right.
Jeez.
So that way the next time it happens, it'll feel like you've lived another lifetime.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, these two work really well together. Alexa, despite the perceived disadvantages in size and all that, she really held her own against Bayley.
She makes up for it. That's what makes her so compelling, is despite her size, she overcomes that with her offense.
Which almost seems inspiring in a good way if she weren't so, terrible.
If she wasn't a terrible person.
She wasn't a terrible person and did everything the wrong way and take cheap shots and do terrible things, then she would be a real inspiration to little girls, which she wants to be, but in the opposite way.
You need to stay behind your microphone because I keep
doing this.
Yeah, Shout out to our iTunes listeners who have one headphone in. Probably just really freaked you out, and you moved to the left and the right on the treadmill.
I wish I could do that. I made somebody fall off a treadmill.
Flippin' stop.
I'm a madman.
You're pretty mad. And crazy. You're crazy.
Oh, yes.
So Bayley gets the win. Any huge... I mean, this was, I think, akin to... I would say in message to Apollo and Finn's match, where it was technique. There was some story, but it was just solid.
But here's the difference. Apollo didn't lose.
Fair.
Alexa lost.
But I mean in execution. This was excellence in execution.
I mean, that's Bret Hart.
No, I know. I just did it for the name drop.
Right. Okay. No, it's not quite. I didn't feel it was the same as that, but it had a similar feel.
It's hard. Any women's match after either of the Sasha and Bayley ones isn't going to be as good, just because there's so much that went into those matches from an emotional and physical level.
No, so I didn't expect it to be.
No, me either. But we all have that in the back of our heads as that match was great. Let's hope that this one is too. So that they have to kind of work uphill. But that's not saying that this was a bad match. This was a great match.
What I liked seeing in this was that the promos that they cut told the stories of the match. That Bayley taking the first real shots in this match, I think she really wanted to say, you better take me seriously. I am not going anywhere, and you better take me as a threat, or I'm going to take you out right here and now. And then, of course, Alexa manages to get the upper hand pretty quick, but it's good to see a very physically aggressive Bayley.
Yeah.
Because that's what it should be. She should be pissed, and she was, and she certainly showed it.
It reflects her promo of how hard it is to keep that championship, and that extra mile that she's had to go in order to do that, and to earn it.
I said
we're seeing her evolve.
As I carried my championship, I said it's not winning it that was the greatest achievement. It's how long you can hold on to it that really is. Because you can win the championship and lose it the next night. We've seen people lose championships in hours, minutes. But keeping it is the challenge. How good you can be for how long is always the challenge of being a real champion.
Well, speaking of how hard one may work in order to achieve a certain goal, we thought it was the end of the match. Actually, really quick, I just wanted to present something funny that I brought up while we were talking. We've got a version of the "Hey, we want some New Day" chant, which is a take on another chant, apparently. I'm not going to talk about it. But it's, hey, we want some Bayley. And I really want Bayley to join New Day because she really likes unicorns and like just hanging out with the guys and in a really pure sense, so that when they start to do like bad stuff and like cheat and stuff, she's like, guys, what are you doing? No!
She can turn them.
Unicorn magic. She can save them.
She can save them.
Save us.
Save us, Bayley.
It's like, dun, instead of break the wall down. There ain't no stopping us now. It's like, hey, flavor alarm, flaming tube. That'd be great. Eva Marie, all read everything, comes out to the ring.
Except for her shirt and pants.
No, her pants were there. Her shirt kind of wasn't.
It wasn't red.
It's just like, is she wearing a shirt? Good
night, everybody.
No, don't cue the music. Don't cue the music. I had to come out here. Boo! Okay, nerds. Just be quiet.
Nerds.
I wanted to come out. Boo!
Like they were screaming at
her.
They
did not let her speak. And here's the separation between a seasoned worker and somebody who's just trying to get their feet wet.
Yeah.
You acknowledge them first so that they chant louder and boo louder, and then you talk through them.
Right. And
that's
then they'll
all
shut
it
up,
is.
because they do want to hear what you have to say. At least a little bit. They'll hate you, but they'll boo you after you're done talking. Because they're curious, at least, about what you have to say. And you can't listen and scream at the same time. Try it at home. Try it right now. Wherever you are, I want you to scream and see if you can listen to me while I talk.
And make sure
it can't be done.
You got to tout it, too.
Absolutely.
Tout it. Tag WWE. Got to get that social media plug.
Yeah, dude. Hashtag ABTV NXT. Just send me a video of you playing this and screaming at the same time. That's what I want to see. This is social media outreach at the very base level. This is what it's all about.
Beautiful.
Now you can stop.
Yes, we gave you your time.
If you heard that, you can stop.
We had Bayley. We saw Bayley go, just keep talking, which you don't want. You don't. That was, and that's nothing on Bayley. That's Bayley trying to help a fresh face out.
Hey, we gotta. This is TV.
Yeah, you could just talk. It's the end of the show. These people want to go home. Just talk, please.
The reason Emma just wrestled her is probably because Eva Marie didn't talk.
All right, fair enough.
Probably.
So what she finally says is, I just talked to Mr. Regal. Sorry, that was bad. I don't know. I was a little drunk. She just talked to Mr. Regal, and next week we are going to see the match that everybody wants to see.
Everybody.
Yeah. Rock your Bayley. So Bayley versus Eva Marie. Bayley versus Eva Marie next week for the championship. And somebody said it in chat early on. This is where Nia Jax debuts as Eva Marie's muscle. Eva Marie wins the championship, and then the rematch is at TakeOver.
Our question for you at home, on a level of 1 to 10, how angry would you be if that actually happened?
I think the answer... I don't want to hear the answer because this is a family show. But we also had Justin Ignacio earlier, the one that I was like, we'll wait for later. Can you imagine a day where we will see an Eva Marie versus Dana Brooke for the NXT Women's Championship match?
I will put this headset down and I will walk away.
But you won't throw it.
No.
Fair enough.
Because it's attached to stuff.
Oh, good.
So I won't throw it. I just do not want that. I can take Dana Brooke and I can take Eva Marie. As long as they do not wrestle each other, I'll be okay.
If any fan who lives in the Florida area has footage of this rare Bigfoot-esque experience, because it's rare and you can't see it, it might not be real.
Oh.
If you have any video of this, or if you know anybody who has any video of this, we'd like to see it. I would. I'd like to see it, especially if it's like a couple months ago when Eva Marie was like just coming back and Dana was just kind of getting started on TV. I'd be interested to see that.
It may have actually been good, and I may just be being a jerk. It's entirely possible. Sometimes I let my opinions get away from me.
You do.
When this happens. Is chat like doing harakiri or?
Well, there's only one person on a scale of 1 to 10 said 10.
Oh.
We've got 500, 100, over 9,000, F off. What is that? That's 1, 2,
I said to 10, you guys.
9,999,999,999.
I said 10.
That's billion. 1 million, 1 million. No, just no. Infinite. We got an infinite, and Justin is sorry for bringing it up.
Yeah. I asked the question. I'm not surprised. I am entertained.
You're a monster.
I am a monster. The black tooth monster.
The best thing to come out of this segment is Corey Graves asking, do you think the championship comes in red?
He had that locked and loaded until they were done, and it's like, oh, when can I pull the trigger? When can I pull the trigger? Does it come in red?
He said he's just tagged. That's it. That's the end.
We're done, everybody. Let's go.
So I brought it up in chat. Now's the time. If you have anything that you want us to talk about for NXT TakeOver, let us know. We'll bring it up really quick. This show, solid.
Yep.
Some good promos.
A very different kind of show.
Very different.
Cool that way, though. You never know what you're really going to get with NXT, and I think that's really great.
Do you think do you think Dash and Dawson benefit at all by getting hand me up tag teams, like local tag teams, as opposed to guys in NXT like Rawless or Hugo Knox?
No, I feel that this actually works to their benefit.
Yeah.
Because they control the crowd as much as they want, do exactly what they want, and get that heat to carry over when a match comes around that, people really want to see. They'll hate Dash and Dawson even more and love the other guys even more. So yeah, I think this actually works really well.
How long do you think this is just an intermediate until the rematch, and then after the rematch, however it goes, they'll either continue with the Vaudevillains or they'll just move on to a new tag team and work them pretty hard?
I think we're going to get maybe 1 or 2 new teams until the point comes where Dash and Dawson just keeps beating these youngsters until the Vaudevillains come out for the save. That's what I'm sort of expecting.
All right.
Because Vaudevillains have to make themselves known. But why would they come out if they're not provoked?
Yeah.
But they're gentlemen. So if you're ungentlemanly and you keep fighting after the bell is rung, they've got to interject. They've got to really intercede on behalf of those who are getting their butts whipped.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Adam Kelleher in chat. I'm going to take over. If Eva is in the championship, I will erg the entire match.
Do that.
I mean, it says erg.
I mean, say as much as you can while in the erg voice, because then you'll have my voice. I can't get into a deeper erg from here.
It's a pretty solid erg.
It's a pretty erg.
So fresh and so MJ in chat. I like this idea. I want to present it to you. Do you think this is a sign that the Vaudevillains are going to be moving up soon?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope.
And actually, and on that, we saw how Ascension was plussed when they moved to the main roster. How do you think the Vaudevillains will be plussed when they move up to the main roster? Do you think they'll do the full coat and hat thing that they did at Brooklyn TakeOver?
That would be cool. I don't know. It's hard. I just hope they aren't received like the Matadores on the main roster. Because when the Matadores came out, everybody went, well, this is the dumbest thing in the world, and yada, yada. No, I think you actually should give these guys a chance and give them a go.
Do you think the permeation of NXT and fans to the main roster fans is getting bigger so that by the time they do come out, they'll have a bigger reaction than Ascension did, because Ascension was still kind of in the beginning?
I can't measure it.
Yeah.
I'm sure WWE is. They're able to measure these things because they're giving surveys and whatnot. If you buy a ticket to something, there are always those follow-up things. They send people surveys. Hey, we saw that you went to our last show. Would you mind filling out this survey? And one of those questions could be, do you know who the vaudevillains are? And depending upon who says yes and who says no, you know what percentage of your audience knows about a particular couple of guys or guy that is in NXT, so you know how they're going to be received on the main roster.
Yeah.
It's not simply like, well, let's throw them out there and see what happens. No, they've got a world of funds at their disposal, and they can test something like a corporation does until they understand exactly how it's going to go, more or less, when they debut.
So do you think we'll see dark matches with the vaudevillains maybe early 2016? Mid-2016?
Maybe.
Yeah. Depends on how their depends on how the tag team division goes. Because if they want to make it the New Day show, that's great for the New Day, but they've got to go against powerful people to keep them on top.
Right. So the question is, where would the vaudevillains come in?
Mm-hmm.
If they were to come in now, who would they start off with? Or would they basically start from the ground up like so many people do? Or, yeah, it's a question. I think the vaudevillains should have a big debut because they are who they are. You give them the canes, you give them the coach, you give them the hats, and just have a tag team in the ring, and then all of a sudden everything's in black and white. Everybody's TV goes to black and white because that sudden change and lack of color would make people pay attention, even in the periphery. You see color, black and white, whatever, on TV, and it's on purpose, so it makes you pay attention. So you have that big debut moment, and past that you're kind of used to it, but it at least draws your attention for a moment.
So this is our last question from chat. If you want to give us stuff to talk about during the show, make sure to use the hashtag ABTVNXT or hashtag NXTeam, and we will look at it for next week's show. But our last one that we will take will be from Mr. Joseph Boza. Do you think a new talent will debut at NXT London? Or we'll get a returning talent, because Itami's supposed to be clear around that time.
Then possibly Itami.
Okay.
I don't think Zayn. Possibly
No,
Itami.
Zayn's 2016. Zayn said himself 2016.
Right. Well, no, I mean, it's Zayn's going to the main roster when he comes back. That's what I understand.
He can give one last tapings.
Maybe.
Debut on the main roster, one last tapings with NXT, and then stay on the main roster.
I don't know if they're necessarily run it that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They've had a bit of a crossover with some people.
Right.
So,
I mean, what you got to look at is a big Euro talent. Like, they would love to bring in a local guy while being over there. A big over-local guy. So look at who they could bring in.
Zack Sabre Jr.
That's what I was thinking, yes.
Grado,
that's what I would want.
Could you imagine the pop?
Yep.
If it's a mystery match and you just life is a mystery. Because WWE could afford that for a night. They could afford that for one night and live, and then just change it.
You know what makes me sad? Tyler Breeze is on the main roster. Because Tyler Breeze versus Grado would be...
Oh, God,
Yeah.
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chat has said before Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes.
Tommy End.
I was
Yeah.
just going to say that.
They'll
Yep.
tell me on too.
That's from Zeno Hour. Danny H said Zack Sabre Jr. Somebody else said Zack Sabre Jr. too as well. Grado is an enigma, and the fact that they're going over there would be the coolest thing, and they might have a card that's too big for that. But
Yeah.
actually, we'll do this last thing, and then we'll wrap up, I promise. Who will be the new gatekeeper? Since Breeze was the gatekeeper, who do you think should be the new gatekeeper in NXT?
Oh, man, that's a really hard question. Maybe... No, I want to say Ty Dillinger because he's been there the longest. But even then...
He's got to get more wins.
Right. He's got.
But I would agree.
Guy.
I would agree if he had more wins. I would say totally. But I could. But that would be great too. Grado versus Ty Dillinger would be a great match
That'd
too.
be pretty good.
Oh, great. Got a lot of people echoing Grado.
Yeah.
Adam Keller says Zack Sabre Jr. too. We got a couple more weeks until we get to NXT TakeOver London. We got some wonderful times to discuss.
Quite a build.
Speaking of discussions, make sure you go to iTunes, leave us a review. Go to Breaking Grounds Breaking Grounds iTunes. We're doing a giveaway. If we get to 20 reviews on the Breaking Ground After Show, we're going to give away something from the NX Team store, nxteam.spreadshirt.com. If you want to check out what we got, pick it up. I'm a Kathy Kelly guy. I'm a hobo. Ho effing Bo. We just put up totally original concept.
Too sweet.
Did it.
Sweet.
Bullet Club. Where can the people find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at TrueHobo. ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo exists. At CWFH Training on Twitter if you want to learn how to wrestle. It's probably a good idea. I had a guy message me through there today.
Did you?
Said, yeah, why don't you come on down? And I think he's coming by Monday. So,
That's
hey,
excellent.
You two can get in the ring, you sorry sack of crap. That's right.
Speaking of CWFH Training and Brandon, you can. We just recorded a new episode of The Gimmick.
Oh,
it's
really?
We did.
I missed him.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Ship's passing in the night. It's going to be up on Wrestling Viewpoint Network. It's going to be posted either tomorrow or the day after. And this is probably, if our producer's watching, this is the first he's learning about it. So make sure to follow us at The Gimmick Pod and at SoapboxMark, nxteam.spreadshirt.com. Kathy Kelly returns next week. We will see you at Full Sail. We'll see you at Full Sail.
Bye-bye, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Say yeah!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.